Oh, God. How are you?
Another morning is here. You know, to be honest, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. Let's not. You know, sometimes
last run.
This one is last hour.
Hard.
But you know something I noticed? Sometimes it's weird. Look at your shirt.
Yeah.
And we're both in black pants.
Yeah.
And the shoes. I mean, you can't see our shoes, but if you can see, and I'm like, hey.
That's my shoe.
So how come? It's almost as though we planned this. Well, but we didn't.
One thing though, we're rocking Woodzine. Please say
Le
it.
créateur.
That's it.
You should hear my guy. You know my guy. Lexis Bill do Le créateur. Ube John. Yo, Lexi, morning wherever you are. Yeah. Anytime I'm listening to the radio, drive and he goes Woodin. There I wait. What's he saying? My guy likes his build.
I like the lady who does it. Woodzine. Lick her.
Yeah, she adds, you know, some razzmatazz.
Yeah.
Some spice to it.
Well, what are we saying? If you've got something you're attending tomorrow, don't sweat it. Just enter any Woodin store. You can grab an already made Woodin shirt. Is yours already made?
No, so I got the material and I sewed it.
Okay. Auntie B also sold my smart clothing. But you can get into the store and get an already made shirt.
Right.
Okay.
Before we get into the papers, have you ever tried getting any information from any of our, you know, public institutions before on the back of the RTI?
No.
Never.
You have?
Not yet.
Okay, no, I haven't.
There was something I wanted to pursue, but at the time, even the legal framework had not been rolled out, so I had to stall that process. But of course, we know about what has been happening and the requests that have been put in and the sums of money. I followed that discussion yesterday. And it just got me thinking, you know, we have the law, yes, but even benefiting from it is something
it will
else.
cost
If you have to cough up 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 CDs, it may not be that you can't afford it, but if you want information for the public good and you have to, how many times are you going to cough up 3,000 or 5,000?
Genuinely, somebody may not be able to. I mean, even the person that you're pointing at me, I may not be able to for that purpose. Yeah. At the particular time when I need it.
But I'm even saying that even if you could, then what would be the essence of the law in the first place? But interesting times. This morning, since we're talking about the Times, I have the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, the BNFT, Republic Press, the Daily Statesman, and Weekend Today. What do you have?
Let's just say I'll do the rest. I'll do the Daily Graphic, the Finder. I see the Accra Times, the Custodian newspaper. The Ghanaian publisher. These are the four papers. Is it the Searchlight I see there? Okay.
It is the Daily Searchlight.
Okay, great. So, shall we begin? The Daily Graphic newspaper, here's what's on the front page today. 2,000 SMEs to access 145 million Ghana cedis from Monday. Tourism, agro-processing, textiles companies to benefit. Professor Alex Dodu heads Africa Standardization Body. Customs officials intercept guns at Tema Port. Government pays $937.5 million to 3 IPPs. Amount covers 4 years excess capacity charge. These are the headlines on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. And if you go into the center spread, act responsibly to deepen public trusts. Boedwaya Boafo charges journalists vaccinating 10% of population, 7 African countries to meet September targets. World Day to combat desertification, drought commemorated. That's how the center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper looks like this morning. And then on the back page, this was in our news. Mini Plus donating to the Ghana Armed Forces. Minister assures K2 South of Sea Defense projects. Okay. And that's how it looks like on the front back page, center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper, Ben.
Let's check out the Ghanaian Times. And interesting that we start with food. President inaugurates food processing factory at Kwaso. But you've heard of that incident at the mall where, I should say the Accra Mall, where the meat section of a certain, facility was shut down on the back of the recent drive to ensure that things are done properly, cleaning Ghana and all of that. So interesting developments. Abu Jinapo thanks Ghanaians for a successful Green Ghana Day. I guess we can all say, hooray! But having planted the trees, I sat somewhere yesterday and someone commented that, oh, we've planted them all. Let's just ensure that goats don't feed on them before they mature. So let's get our money's worth.
That's a mean comment.
The person was just being maybe mischievous, and I had to call the person out a bit. But I think in there, at the bottom of it, there's reason. Let's ensure that if we've planted the trees, we develop them a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line, we should be able to account for all these trees. Gunmen strike in Mutikrum, shoot victims, rob gold dealers. And this one has got, like the Americans will say, got a lot of people shaken, of course. Then there is also the story, landmark ruling, court orders MFWA, that is the Media Foundation for West Africa, to pay 1,500 Ghana cedis for information from the NCA. And Zambian ex-president Kenneth Kaunda dies at age 97. Murder of tutor, a brother at Mampong. That's on page 3. Docket to AG delayed. And here's a very sad one. In fact, 2 of them. 10-year-old boy electrocuted. That was on Sunday when he allegedly touched the window of a room of a house believed to be electrified to keep intruders away. Aww. Unfortunately, this 10-year-old, unsuspecting, lost his life. This is in Bedeku in the Adan East district of the Greater Accra region. Then police alert against suspected bandits. And the Ghana police has been placed on high alert following reports that suspected bandits are planning to attack communities in the northern parts of Ghana along the border with Burkina Faso. The middle spread of the paper, President inaugurates that story there about the president, and then MFWA launches book to empower access to information. On the back page, news to host German West African Center for Global Health and Pandemic Prevention, and government urged to support Department of Social Welfare and related institutions. That's it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Let's jump into the Finder newspaper. Front page, 750 mothers with mental disorders appeal for medication. Africa should create a better future for children. A call from Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado. On One District, One Factory, President Ekufuado commissions Premium Foods Factory. Bank of Ghana to buy 8.7 tons of gold in 5 years to shore up foreign reserves and the economy ultimately. Dr. Baumia, UK Minister for Africa, co-chair 5th UK-Ghana Business Council. By way of headlines, that's what you'll find on the front page of the Finder newspaper.
Are you going to do the middle spread? Let's do the daily guide then. And weapons busted at Tema Port. All these weapons here, weapons there, weapons caches and robbery and this and that. Anyway, that story is on page 3. Green Ghana exceeds target. That's on page 6. AG charges Kaswa teenage killers. You remember those of the 9-10-year-old boy, Felix Nyako and Nicholas Kinney. And then there's wife killer gets 200,000 Ghana cedi bail. I'm talking about the alleged killer of the late Lillian Dejo and her husband, Prince Charles Dejo, pictured there. Let's check out some more news from the paper. And U.S. Supreme Court rejects Trump-backed challenge to Obamacare. The court upheld the law by a 7-2 majority. So it appears 7-2 and 7-1 and 7-0 didn't start.
Yeah, remember that about 3 of those judges were appointed during the Trump administration.
Yes, and that's the interesting bit in there, because if they were to play along a certain or to a certain line, you would have at least had a 7-3 or something, 6-3 or something of the sort. But this is the way it turned out. And this thing had created a lot of problems in the health system in the United States. Obamacare or no Obamacare, how do we go forward with it? So at least some positive resolution there. Let me just check out the entertainment page of the paper and wrap up from there. Simi denies pregnancy rumors. And then she sang the Duduke and okay.
Again, Like would anything be wrong with?
There may be cashy, but well, some women do back to back, so back to back to back. But Charlie, same baby.
If I will bang you in a way.
That's not really at all. They put it here on the page 8. So we go talk about them. Because the Outer Defense sampling George Darko's Odo color. And on the back page of the paper, Kotoko NCC slams GFA. That's it for the Daily Guide newspaper.
All right, let's do the Daily Dispatch. On the front page of the Daily Dispatch this morning, Ghana needs a rapid towing response system, according to the police. Accident in Ghana, January to April 2021, 9 killed and 47 injured daily, like on a daily basis. I will never be a politician, but, well, as they say, if you want to hear what Bishop Ajinasari had to say, you have to figure that out yourself. Acquire a new multi-purpose plane for Air Force, according to Dominic Nitiwu. That's the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, with the accident, the records of accidents from January to April on the back page of the paper. Total accident cases reported, 505,474. Persons injured, 5,658. Persons killed, 1,034. And out of that figure, in terms of those who died, 863 are male, 171 female. Pedestrians killed, and again, we're just talking about January to April 2021, 972 persons have died. Total vehicles involved in those accidents, the over 5,000 accidents reported. We have 9,336, and out of that, 3,811 private vehicles. Commercial vehicles amounted to 3,341. Motorcycles, 2,184. So that's how it looks like with the figures on the back page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. These are lives, so human lives, 1,034 just from January to April 2021. All right, that's it for the Daily Dispatch.
Republic Press now, 5,000 bulletproof vests for over 40,000 police officers, woefully inadequate. That's according to the Interior Minister. And don't we know it? But of course, there's also talk now of body cameras for
the Interior Minister
officials.
is telling us.
Yes, he's telling us that it's woefully inadequate.
Asemo. So who should fix it?
No, but he's just acknowledging that there is a gap, a problem.
Okay. All right.
He's saying that I know there is a problem, but of course, how to manage it.
I think he's been too quiet, and I'm not saying he should be talking, but he should be a lot more proactive than he's been as an Interior Minister, honestly. But
there's a saying that if you have nothing to say, you might as well say nothing. I mean, sometimes it gets you out of a lot of trouble.
Does it? It actually.
Well, sometimes you talk about showers and airplanes, and you do more damage than good.
Don't get naughty. Listen, what I'm saying is we've been faced with a lot of security challenges, and honestly, I do honestly forget sometimes that there is an Interior Ministry.
No, but I agree with you on that point, because if you look at national security, well, sometimes they come into the picture for all the wrong reasons. Defense and all of that. In that setup, it's true. Rarely do you hear from the Interior Minister, at least in recent times.
We talk about the police, we talk about the IGP.
Right.
And we forget that there's another structure that oversees all these agencies.
Yeah.
And they're kind of missing, honestly. I don't know, man. I'm not saying, there should be a presser, like meets the press, for him to come and speak. But we need.
Well, that wouldn't be bad, actually. Like we've seen other ministers do.
Yeah,
I mean, the Ministry of Information, it would be good to hear from
We
them.
need something. So you see, Galamsey is such a big issue, right? But we see what the minister has been engaged in, all this stuff. But I can't point to what the Interior Ministry has been responding to or has been proactive trying to avoid in terms of security. I really can't tell because I don't know what he's up to. Yeah.
Well, good point made there. Conflict has increased since the pandemic broke out, report says. We're still with the Republic Press, or Republic Press without the THE. and that's the Global Peace Index, published on Thursday by the Institute for Economics and Peace. And according to them, the situation in 2020 shows that the conflict has increased worldwide for the 9th time in 12 years. 2020 WASI questions leaked on the dawn of each paper, Africa Education Watch. You know, I've been following this story, Mama V, and for me, I don't know where we're headed now, because during my time, we all wanted to make those sixes and distinction and everything, but you were glad because by the sweat of your brow, you had actually done something. And the competition was vociferous, getting into some of these A-class schools and all of that. I mean, Africa Education Watch has come out with its details. WAEC has also, you know, had its own, well, whatever it is, put out. But I'm just saying that if some of these things turn out to be true, remember we've been celebrating those, is it 88? People who had all A's and all of that, scoring the highest in West Africa and all of that. If we attained those on the back of some compromises, it would be sad, and it would be denting our image, because then you're claiming, oh, I won, but did you cheat?
So should we actually be celebrating scores? Should we change the focus then?
Well, all across the world, whether it's these international, whether it's TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, LSAT, yes, scores count. But in the end, for me, I think one place we're sorely lagging behind as a country, we're too focused on you made 90%, you made 100%, instead of what can you produce with the 90% that you scored in that paper?
Because honestly, if you score 100%, it doesn't say anything about what you're able to achieve.
What you're capable of.
In real life or in whatever. You know, it's just the paper that you scored 100% in. But, you know, at Shesi University, they're actually proud of writing exams without supervision, without invigilators. That's what the students have been doing I think for a period now, and they're proud of that.
They have a certain culture.
Yeah. So you go to the exam hall, nobody is looking over your shoulders, but you're doing the right thing. And that's something that they've planted in their students, and they've been growing with it. I don't know how the rest of the schools in the country can copy that.
Well, there are institutions that are
something
doing...
that you develop in a person,
right?
You know, because it has to take you to say that, even though the book is there, even though I can ask around, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I am just going to answer the questions based on the understanding that I got throughout the semester or the term.
And it's so apt in these times of virtual learning and virtual exams and, you know, all of that. Something else that we ought to highlight going back to this, again, when you talk about an institution like Ashesi, and it just came up, if you see they tout often how their products are able to get into so many institutions across the world and thrive. And that is what we want to see. I mean, there are other institutions like my own alma mater, the University of Ghana, doing that, but we need to see
exam
more.
Without invigilators?
No, not even. I'm not talking about this bit about lack of invigilation or no invigilation. I'm talking about producing people who can fit in across the world. I think that's what we ought to be focusing on, a very holistic, practical education rather than the rote baba, chew, passport, forget. I mean, how many colleagues don't we have from back then, sterling grades and all of that? Question is, where are they now? Sometimes it's not so much about the book. It's about what you can produce. And we're lagging behind. Missing in action, a Blackwells question on Akufo-Addo's foreign trip, disappears from Parliament. Have you followed this one? It's like, it just, poof.
But initially, I thought they said the minister needed more time. That's what I thought it was.
After how many? Do you know how long this has been raging?
Well, that was the arguments that it had been published
for weeks.
So why was the But
it was surprising that all the others were there, that this one was not there.
So when we say missing, what does it mean?
According to the story,
it was not on the order paper.
Yes. So it wasn't. It's unclear why the question has been taken off the order paper, while other questions to be answered by the finance minister still remains. The urgent question has generated controversy, and it goes on and on. But that's, in a nutshell, what the thrust is. Ghana needs a new presidential jet. Dominic Nitiwu. I think yesterday we shared our thoughts on this. And like I shared earlier, FDA finds ShopRite for selling imported frozen chicken as local. That's it with the Republic Press.
Let's do the Ghanaian publisher. Front page of the Ghanaian publisher, Gender Minister calls for protection of children. By the way, what has she been up to? Gender Minister.
If we've not heard, then likely.
Government to retrain or retrain drivers to reduce road accidents. Implement towing levy, stakeholders urge government. So this is the law that we passed back in 2012, and there was a lot of disagreements, stakeholders, and of course, Ghanaians in general. We totally didn't understand why we should be paying a levy when not all of us would end up needing that service. But that conversation seemed to be coming back, and from the point of view of this piece, according to it, stakeholders want the levy implemented. I guess we all have to revisit that conversation. On One District, One Factory, Kufuor opens premium foods factory. Okay, so this story was in one of the other papers. So I guess that's it for the Ghanaian publisher. Yep.
Well, the BNFT tax experts express worry over VAT underperformance. And this one, which reminds me of Fort Knox, Bank of Ghana adds gold purchase to shore up foreign reserves. There's also clearer conflict of interest rules needed in Parliament. That's according to Mahama Ayariga. That's it for the BNFT.
The Custodian newspaper, Agbogloshi onion sellers Hans Henry Cote. Charlie, this is your man, eh? Ben. So they say what?
He says the attacks are real. Now people are taking it to different realms.
But still, idiot. You go relocate them.
All right.
So, Mr. Henry Cote, yes, it was so. Northern Regional Minister and House of Chiefs to avert conflicts. The two, and then NCA flaws. That's how they put it. NCA flaws. Media Foundation for West Africa in RTI case. I won't say exactly that, because guess what? The figure was supposed to be 2,000 Ghana cedis, but at the end of the court decision, Media Foundation for West Africa was to pay 1,005. So there was a 500 Ghana cedis amount that was cut out from the original 2,000. It wasn't necessarily a victory for the NCA, if you ask me.
Not exactly.
But should we even be celebrating a thing like this?
Good question.
It's information.
That's for me, Mano Bukiti, I leave it there. The Daily Statesman, First Lady calls for better opportunities for African children. Pay for the information. NCA floors MFWA in RTI legal battle. Drivers to undergo mandatory refresher training. And President commissions 1D1F factory at AGSU. Let me just wrap with the weekend today quickly. Fake results 2020 WASI exams leaked. And this one, lawyer cries injustice over 1 year suspension of 50 nursing trainees. That's it. It's a wrap for me with the papers I have.
One headline from the Accra Times, the final one for me. Speaker Gbagbin weeps over small number of female MPs in Parliament. Question.
Oh.
Now who caused them?
Oh. But what do you really think we can do about that situation? From the party level, I mean, moving upwards. Because we seem to, we have this, so to speak, political culture where leadership laments it. I mean, you even remember some of the things that were said by former President Mills, may his soul rest in peace, about more women in Parliament and more women being given ministerial, opportunities and all of that. You look at it through, they all seem to talk about it, but a lot of the time it is more rhetoric than any real talk. So what are we doing? Other countries have, I think, is it Ethiopia? About 50%. They have Sally work, one of their leaders. I mean, it's being implemented in other parts of the world. Why are we always talking and not doing?
I say that in the absence of anything that looks like a regulation or a law that enforces or says that, we've dedicated 30% and this is how we're going to get more women. I say let's start small. Let's start small by way of those in Parliament already. Let's get people to understand the office that you occupy. And this is the women in Parliament. Let people understand the office that you occupy so that they would also want to be there. Because if you say you want women, if the women are not willing to be there, you can want all you want, but they won't be there.
Do you know why the women are not willing to be there?
I think that
Have you seen how we've treated some of our women leaders? Let me give you a typical example. Look at our Electoral Commission. look at some of the things we've seen in respect of the former chairperson and the current chairperson. Look at how, and I'm putting both of them on the radar, because you look at some of the attacks on the former one before she left, you look at the attacks on the current one, who is still in office. How many women would want to go through that?
Our general politics in Ghana, Ben, is very dirty. You've got to be ready, whether you're a man or woman, if you enter the game.
I think the women are targeted more.
If we're calling for that kind of targeting, then it has to be. Well, but listen, there will be time for us to discuss this matter in detail. We want to talk about Samson Ladi Ayenini, the Ghana Journalist of the Year. He won the award back in 2019, and yesterday he got this vehicle. I want us to listen to Samson.
President for the decision to donate this car for this purpose. Thank you all, and I want to commit that I'll continue to make myself available to champion credible and fearless journalism.
Big congratulations to Samson Ladi Ayenini. The
Making
car will
us
be
proud.
on Newsfile tomorrow.
Samson, congratulations to you, and God keep lifting you higher
proud of you.
and higher.
Yeah, but I know that you have a very functioning vehicle, you know, a serviceable vehicle. So if you pass it on to me for like a month or two, it won't be bad.
Samson, your car want it. All right, what's your car want it? Well, that's a beauty right there.
Yeah.
A beautiful one. And we're so proud of you, Samson Ladi.
Absolutely.
Well, right before we... was there something you were going to say?
I wanted to say happy birthday to somebody very special, but
Please
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right, so it's a happy 50th birthday to Professor Mrs. Smile GHc. This is from Data Link Institute of Business and Technology. Can you please put the beautiful Professor Mrs. Smile GHc on the screen so we can appreciate her and say a happy, happy, happy birthday to her. I guess that picture is not ready. When it is, we will put it on the screen. Okay, there she is, Professor Mrs. Smile GHc. Happy birthday to you, ma'am.
Happy birthday. Well, right before we wrap, as we celebrate Prof, how about we celebrate our fathers as well? That's something we're talking about today. Republic Press has this on page 13. This Father's Day, celebrate the little things Dad does. And that includes bottle feeding the kid himself and freeing time for his partner to relax. I was talking about this recently, that Charlie, sometimes the women are so burdened with the kids and the men are, you know, so I just singled that out. In fact, they list a number of things, about 15 of them, that, you know, fathers do, serving as a human subject for experiments in makeup, hairstyling, body paint, glitter, which the kids really love to do. This is a beautiful piece, and I think we can all check it out. But how much do you know about the origins of Father's Day?
Oh, nothing.
So Middle Ages, on the back of St. Joseph, wife of Mary, biblical Mary. And then in 1910, the U.S. took it pretty seriously with one Jackson Smart. He was a Civil War veteran, 6 children, single parent as a father. But there will be a lot more that we'll be telling you about, you know, Father's Day and how important this day really is. Sometimes we brush it under the carpet.
Do you know how
Sweep it under the carpet.
I said Benjamin a couple had some great interactions with fathers. I mean, he's not a father yet, but he's hoping to be one very soon. So he took inspiration and went to talk to some fathers. You will love it. People that you know, but you don't know that side of them. And that's what we explore in this interaction. So we're celebrating fathers heavily on our show this morning.
I spoke to Israel and at the end he asked me, Ben, but I've been thinking, are you a father? And I was like, not yet biologically, but I'm a godfather. And he was like, yeah, you're still a father, right?
Please, please.
I am a father. Anyway, sports is up next. Do stay with us.